Happy New Year, everybody. So I'm just making a video comparing 2020 with 2021. Do vaccines actually work? I'm in here in the UK, as you can see here, according to Worldometer, we're 30th in the world in terms of deaths per million. 2,172 per million, 148, 624 deaths from COVID so far, is what they say. Okay, so we got in 2020 COVID mortality rates. In 2020 we had 72,178 deaths from COVID. That's a lot. Most of those deaths were in the older age group. So as we can see from this chart, the majority were over 80 years old, a few between 70 and 79, less again in the 60 to 69 age group, and less and less. So basically it affects older people much more than younger people. But thankfully, by some miracle, by the end of 2020, in December time, they were rolling out the vaccine, or vaccines. And as you can see from the chart, the 70 plus year old group, by sort of February time, had been vaccinated by about, well, at least 90% had been vaccinated by February time, which is quite astonishing. And if we fast forward in time, from the ons.gov.co.uk website, we have in England, between January the 2nd and July the 2nd, 2021, there were 51,281 deaths involving coronavirus, COVID-19. And it says here 640 occurred in people who were fully vaccinated. So there you can clearly see that the vaccine works. Because if 90% thereabouts have been vaccinated, and only 10% are left unvaccinated, and only 640 people in the 90% group died, then the vaccines must work. So if we take the figure of 51,281, we'll take away the 90% of people that were vaccinated, so 640 deaths in that group. So we're left with 50,641 deaths of people that were unvaccinated in the 10% group. Which would mean that if the vaccine hadn't have happened, there would have been 10 times that number of deaths. So in a 6-month period, there would have been over 500,000 deaths. Or for the year, there would have been over 1 million deaths without the vaccine. That's what they claim. That's what the data suggests. That's what the ONS is suggesting. But if you've got a million deaths for the year, which is what would have happened if the people had not been vaccinated, then that means the virus has suddenly become, well, let's divide last year's deaths. There would have been 72,178. The virus has suddenly become 14 times more lethal. Is that believable? I mean, this is before Delta the variant came out, and the virus has suddenly jumped to 14 times more lethal. Or you can believe the vaccine saved everybody, but what do you believe? The virus became more lethal, or the vaccine saved people? It's very difficult to say. But in any case, the official figures by the end, or let's have a look, updated Saturday the 1st of January 2022. So officially 172,000 deaths, according to this. So we've got 30,000 more deaths in a year with a vaccine compared to a year without a vaccine. Or if you look at the other figure, so we have deaths within 28 days of a positive test, so 148,778. So you've got somewhere between 5,000 and 30,000 more deaths in a year with a vaccine compared to a year without a vaccine, which is quite astonishing. So does the vaccine work? or not. But let's have a look at other countries which have got very low vaccination rates. So we'll look at Burundi, and you would imagine that having a 0.03% vaccination rate, that country would have been decimated by COVID. But let's have a look. So Burundi, deaths per 1 million, 3. Okay. Let's have a look at a few other ones. So we've got Chad. So we have 11 deaths per million. Let's have a look at Ethiopia. .58 deaths per million. I mean, it's got a 1.33% vaccination rate. Let's have a look at a country with, I don't know, Syria. 4.28% vaccination rate. 160 deaths per million. Wow. Okay. Let's have a look at another country with a very high vaccination rate. Let's have a look at Gibraltar. So Gibraltar, very high vaccination rate. 2,969 deaths. But you would have thought that having a high vaccination rate would be fewer deaths per million, would you not? Let's have a look at Portugal with another very high vaccination rate country. 1,867. Wow. And so, what do you think? Do you think the vaccines are actually working? I don't know. But think for yourself and take the vaccine if you choose to take it. Alright, thank you for watching. Goodbye.